Hi, Danielle Lasusa here again, and today I'm going to talk to you about hope. You may not be feeling very hopeful about the state of the world right now, and for good reason. But today I'm going to talk about why and how we can have hope when things look terrible. And first I want to differentiate between two concepts, optimism and hope. And this differentiation comes not from me, but from the philosopher Cornel West. So we have optimism and we have hope. So Dr. West says that optimism is what we feel when we can sort of look at the evidence that is there and kind of cobble together a story for why we should feel good about the situation. So we say like, oh, well, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe you got laid off, but you are a resourceful person and you've got lots of skills, and maybe that your brother can get you an interview at his remote job or whatever. You've got like kind of these pieces of evidence that you can kind of cobble together to try and build a case for why you should feel good. So this sort of evidence or data gives us a case, right, for why we should feel good about the future. And he says that hope is something different, because sometimes we are in a situation where the evidence and the data on the ground looks real bad. And this sort of is one of those moments that you look around and you think, this is terrible, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. And maybe you don't have any money coming in, or maybe someone you know is sick, or maybe you're sick, or whatever it might be, and you're afraid about the future, and you're not exactly optimistic about things improving. And when that happens, you need to access hope. And Cornel West says that hope is what happens when you go beyond the evidence, beyond the data, and it's sort of an act of will. It is like an existential act of will, that I'm going to choose to hope for a brighter future. I'm going to envision the kind of world I want to live in, and I'm going to work towards that thing, even though the evidence doesn't point to that actually happening. Even though I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Even though I might work my entire life to like try and do whatever, get, some policy passed, or build something, or make something, or create a relationship, or whatever it means, and I don't know what's going to happen to that thing in the future. Maybe it will come crashing down. Maybe I will build a thing and then die, and then people around me like tear it apart. You don't know what's going to happen, and none of us ever know what's going to happen. But we can choose to hope, in which we believe and we do anyway, in spite of the evidence. Now, I don't want this to sound like anti-scientific or anti-data. Of course, you have to be reasonable, and you have to, when you are doing the work, you have to take the evidence and data into account. You have to. Like, it's important for staying in touch with reality and for doing things that will actually be effective. But who knows what's going to happen to technology in the future? Who knows what you could discover? Who knows what good fortune may come your way? You don't know. You don't know. And if you choose to believe that those things could happen, that you're going to work with the evidence and the data you have, and you're going to hope beyond it. You're going to hold on to this belief that things will improve in the way that you want them to, or at least in a way that points closer to that direction. And if you can hold on to that belief, it's not a sufficient condition for that thing happening. It's not like you can just law of attraction, power of positive thinking, like will something into existence. It's not enough. You have to work. You have to work. And you have to work within the evidence and the data that exists. But I think that this hope is a necessary condition. It's a necessary condition for making that thing, for creating the world that we want to see, for showing up as the person that you want to be, for living in the world you want to live in. You have to hold on to that vision. Or you're just going to, what's the alternative? Like become a cynic, give up on everything, feel bad about yourself, and then die? Like, you're on the planet. Here we are. You're pushing up the rock, up the mountain, just like everybody else. Like, if we stop, then we stop. We don't do anything. We, waste our time and drink a lot and watch Netflix and wait for the end to come. So as human beings, like, hope is what gives us the fuel to keep going, whether or not it materializes. Because what other choice do you have? So hang on to it. And it's not magic, but it is part of what makes this moment bearable. And it's part of what will get you through it. Because if you don't have that, it's going to be a real hard road. All right, I have more videos on this. Come to my website, daniellesusa.com, if you want to hear me talk about hope for longer. I have podcasts and videos and articles and things. So come visit me. Okay, daniellesusa.com. Hope to see you there.